This is the opportunity of a lifetime for people that have businesses and brands out there. Email us right now at advertise@hiphopun.com and you will get an opportunity to put your brand right in front of each video that we do. And let me tell you, the prices are crazy affordable. You definitely can afford it. Email us right now, advertise at
We already
hiphopun.com.
know. Like, I mean, even a few couple of days ago, I seen an article about the Black Lives Matter. One of the founders, how she did like a few $1,000 renovations on a $6 million mansion, and we all know that those funds have been misappropriated. That it's just garbage trash what they're doing with the money. Like you don't hear about them, building community centers or helping do things in neighborhoods. You hear about them splurging,
Yep.
$1 million on security, $6 million mansions, money on this, money on that. So the movement has been co-opted. But I do agree with Biggs when he says that we need to try to point more attention into, things that uplift the movement. And I don't know if Kanye is trying to do that and in a weird type of way. Talk about this tweet, right, that Kanye said, right? He put, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toured with me and tricked and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. Wow. And then if you look at it, people say, oh, Nick Cannon said the same thing. They didn't know. And I saw some lady, I forget her name, something Silverman, and she was saying like,
Sarah Silverman.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, how everybody's so quiet, like it didn't even happen. Like they want to get Kanye West, but I'm thinking like, what can you really do to Kanye West at this point? He's a billionaire. He ain't the guy like a Nick Cannon who's really relying on, their TV shows and things like that. He already did it, and he could take, his brand and go do what the hell he want with it at this point in time. Now you can slander him through the media, you can call him this, you can call him that, but what can they really do to Kanye West? But what's your thoughts when you seen this tweet?
I laughed. I laughed because not only did I laugh, because I knew what was coming out of it, right? I knew the shitstorm that Kanye just brought on to himself by saying that. Now, a lot of people, in particular in the Jewish community, that spoke out against this had an issue with him saying DEFCON 3 when it pertained to Jewish people. I looked up the meaning. DEFCON 3 roundhouse increase in force readiness above that required for normal readiness, which basically meant he was getting ready for the war and the
Right.
shitstorm he knew that was coming his way once he made the statement that he made. He did not talk about any Jewish people dying. He didn't talk about any Jewish people being hurt. He didn't talk about harming any Jewish people. All he said was he was going to go against the grain, against the powers that be, who happen to be all Jewish.
Right.
I'm not afraid of you. We've seen what happened when people even utter the word Jew and it doesn't follow up by absolutely beautiful comments. They get checked.
Yeah.
They get whipped. They get the fucking whip slapped across their back and they are forced to apologize. Look at Whoopi Goldberg. Look at Nick Cannon. These are just a few names within the last year that have said some things that Jewish people do not like and were forced to get on their knees and apologize and lose money while they did it and lose time on their work while they did it, and they were publicly embarrassed and lynched for uttering anything negative toward Jewish people, even though they ain't talking about harming them, affecting them, taking away their money, taking away anything. Who owns Hollywood? Who owns the music industry? Shit, who owns this building? It's just,
Right.
who the fuck am I going to blame? And who the fuck am I going to call out if, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes to show you how powerful they are because, yes, we do get upset when people talk about black people, right? And we get on Twitter and we go absolutely crazy. And somebody may be quote unquote canceled for a little bit. Hell, they might even miss a gig or two. What really fucking happens to them? But say something bad about the motherfuckers who created it. And you see what happens. I don't have a problem with Kanye, what Kanye West said. I am not an anti-Semitic.
Right.
I don't hate anybody out here. But we're going to call the truth for what the fuck it is. And what does ish mean anyway? Do we really want to go there?
Right.
That means kinda, sorta, not really, right? So if they kinda, sorta, not really, who are the real ones? And if he feels like black people are the real children of Israel, are the real Jewish people, why are we beating him up for that?
And then you got a whole sector of people called Hebrew Israelites
Yes, sir.
across this country that claim that are out in the streets of New York, that are out on the streets of Philly, that are out Chicago, anywhere you want to go.
All major cities in
that
America.
stand out there screaming at the top of their lungs about how they are the original children of Israel, right? The original. I haven't seen some of them even debating, what they call the Jewish people. I've seen them out there debating them and things like that. So I think that's where the real issue comes in. Is them saying, is anybody trying to say that they're down with their lineage except for who they say they are? So if you're black, you can't be this. But I'm not really astute too much of the history like that. I'm the wrong person.
Right.
Some people say yeah, some people say nay, but
Right.
we have to account for those people, that say, and we could probably get them on the show. I used to deal with a few of them. You know what I mean? That'll scream to the high heavens about how they're the original Jews and how their lineage was stolen. That's just what they say. Now, so at the end of the day, yeah, they have a lot of power. They own everything, a lot of stuff, right? Even, Minister Farrakhan and, they not saying they own Minister Farrakhan, but he said things that people took, out of context and things like that. And it's obviously been, a war of attrition between, the two powers, so I just don't think they could, probably try to flex muscle on Kanye. And I think that they will, but I kind of commend him for standing up. I commend anyone for standing up for what they believe is true against a force. I mean, ain't this the way the country, the United States of America, we had to stand up, right? And go to war and bombs bursting in air against oppressive forces in order to get this land, right? That's what they tell us. So I never have a problem with a person standing up for what they think is truth and going DEFCON 3 and going against all odds and saying what they say. Now, Kanye, you could say something, he's a little crazy, but he's also a freaking genius. You don't make $1 billion without being a genius unless you rob, steal, and pillage. And I ain't see him rob, steal, and pillage from nobody.
What has me curious is we seen him cut ties. Seemingly, he's still technically with Adidas, but that shit seems like it's all but over. A Gap, that shit seems like it's all but over. He is a billionaire. I'm curious to see how deep this lashing goes because people know Kanye's on a different level than the norm.
They might kill him, man.
I don't want to go.
Die,
I don't even want to go that far. Do you think he'll get distribution from manufacturers, clothing people, and things like that? And I'm not talking about the big gaps. I'm talking about the motherfuckers who actually have the material that could do a deal. Is somebody gonna tell them, he's excommunicated, you can't deal with him at all, even with his own money? You think it'll go that deep to where they try to ostracise him to the point where they won't even allow him to be able to spend his money with certain people because they be like, nah, your business ain't good here?
I don't know if it can go that far, because a lot of people, they about that money.
Fact.
And what person, I don't care what you say, what person wouldn't want to do a business with $1 billion company? That's, you know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to do that? But here's what I kind of see happening. I think that he's eventually going to apologize, bro, like most of them do.
Why?
Because I think the pressure's going to mount.
Damn.
I think the pressure's going to mount on him, and I just think that's what it is. I don't know. I hope that he stand. If you feel that way, stand on it. Anybody, you could be in the KKK. If you feel that way, stand on it. Don't change your tune because somebody else, told you this or told you that. Stand on what you say. But I just feel like the next few days, because he is very erratic right now, what he's saying, even though I can, understand 100% a lot of the stuff he's saying, not all, I think he's going to apologize, man, in this next few days.
What I would like to see is a very honest, uncomfortable conversation.
There you go.
From people from the Jewish community and from people from the Hebrew Israelite community or even Kanye West himself that feel the way that he and they feel about their position when it comes to the original children of Israel.
I don't think it's up for debate. Not to cut you off. I don't think that they want to debate it at this point. I think they're saying it is what it is.
Who's saying that? Them?
Jewish people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in my opinion. I would like to see it, but yeah.
Even Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon said what he said. He had Professor Griff on, and he went out there and it got him in a whole bunch of trouble. But that's the way that brother felt. Yeah. Then he has a rabbi come on, and it's not as if they're and please pardon me, I didn't watch the entire thing, but it didn't seem like to me they were having an honest conversation. It felt like Nick was sitting there in front of his grandfather being told what was the truth, and he said, "You know what? You're right. I'm sorry." Well, what happened to all that fucking information you had prior to speaking to this man?
Right.
Why didn't you argue for what about A, B, C? Or what about X, Y, Z? And here's some honest conversation. We are afraid to have honest, uncomfortable conversations. A lot of us. To
Right.
just look in the mirror and face that truth that, hey, maybe this ain't what it seems. And until we do that, we just gonna keep getting whipped. I hope you're wrong with Kanye apologizing. I hope, and not
Me too.
because I think that I want to see people beefing and hatred going on. No, if you feel that way, and you wasn't sitting there saying we need a Holocaust too or anything wild like that. You wasn't saying you wanted to hurt a soul. You were just calling it for what you said or calling it for how you saw it and how you felt. And if you feel some way, even though people may not agree, I don't always agree with you. You don't always agree with me, but we ain't apologizing to each other.
But ain't it funny though? I gotta put this in here. How the same people, like you got the Sarah Silvermans jumping up and they want so much action, but
Michael
these
Rappaport.
same they jumping up, and even black people jumping up, which kills me. They want to attack Kanye West. But rap music is pushed. Death and destruction. We could talk about killing each other.
Yep.
We could talk about doing this to each other.
Nigga, this
And that's
bad.
promoted by these same label heads that's making millions, billions of dollars. They push that shit with impunity. They don't care. But as soon as somebody says something, a statement, they want to start dissect it and say, oh, this needs to be this. But black people killing each other. That's cool, right? Black people talking about killing each other, that's fine, right? As long as you're making money. Okay. Everybody watch how this thing plays out. That's all.
They only do it because they know we're the most influential people in the world. And they know that through our voice and through our antics and through our energy, we are going to influence people. So soon as Kanye says something like this, soon as Nick says something like what he said in Whippy or whoever else, Minister Farrakhan, they get on top of that shit so quick to try to dead it and make you apologize so that people's minds, in particular in our community, aren't influenced and heard and thought things different about how they feel. But nigga, shooting ops, killing this, drill that, that can go on all day because that's the type of influence that they need upon us so they can keep us in the same bullshit-ass rut, circle, fucking oppression that we've sat in for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's just evolved. If you don't think we still sitting there, you're crazy. It's just evolved. Yeah, we have power to do different things, but our minds are so fucking trapped in that bullshit that they got us hook, line, and sinker. Hell, Kanye can't even go against the grain to say something without his people first
Attacking him.
crushing his
Boosie and all these people. Meanwhile, Boosie go sit on my man's couch every day, every week. But he can't wear a shirt. Come on, man. This is crazy to me, man.
Can't go in any hood in America with that shirt on because they would beat Kanye's ass.
Yeah.
But would a white person get beat up the same way? We gotta just unchain our mind. You can disagree with Kanye. Like what Biggsburg said to kind of bring all that full circle. I don't have a problem with what he said. Like I said, you don't hear from him much. That's his thought. That's his feeling. And it's a good goddamn point. But some of these other cats, man, y'all just talking just to be fucking talking.
Yeah, they jumping. They got guys like Meek Mill and all these people jumping up.
Man,
And
what Meek say?
I forgot he said something crazy.
Well,
like
you
he
know
went
his
at
boy.
Kanye.
You know his boys.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
you gotta represent.
Yeah. It's just like who was pushing these dudes' buttons to start coming at the Kanye? Man, just shut up and don't say nothing. Don't say nothing at this point. Just sit back and shut up. We don't need if the other side's gonna attack, let them attack. But you don't attack. It's crazy. I'm gonna say this real quick, man. You ain't gonna get this type of talk on no other podcast
scared.
out there.
They scared.
None of them.
Not
This is why
Barstools, not iHeart,
Nope.
not Revolt, none of them.
None of them. You ain't gonna get it. You just not. You gotta come to the underground. You gotta come to the independent people to get this type of conversation, man. But dope episode, fire episode to kick this thing off, man.
Looking good in this motherfucker too, man. Feels
Yeah.
good to be officially in Self-Made Studios. We've been talking about it for a little while. Can't wait to show you guys the full effect. And mind you, this is the beta version, right? This is just we
got
just had
some
to
more.
get some shit set up
Got
so that
some
we
more.
can come in here and give you guys some content and some information.
Right.
But the shit's about to get crazy, man. Y'all just stay tuned. We appreciate y'all support. In 2022, the fourth quarter and the beginning of the first quarter of 2023, we are taking this shit over.
Yeah, it's DEFCON 3 for real in this motherfucker.
All you motherfuckers. Jewish, black, white, Asian, all you motherfuckers. Content, we coming for the throne.
Yeah.
Zone.
Definitely, man. Another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. It's in
Sir.
the books. That's your brother Sam, man. Viral hip hop news. I'm your brother, Oh God. Hip hop news, uncensored together. Be the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Over and out.